What's up, guys? I am actually outside Zarka Cigar Lounge in Temecula. What am I doing here? Well, I'm actually meeting a very awesome person, one of the most hardworking women I have ever met working in the entertainment industry. And yeah, I'm about to head in here. So in a second, you see who I am currently smoking with. What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode in a while of Currently Smoking With. And as I mentioned in the intro, I am currently smoking with the lovely Martha Staab.
Hi, how are you?
It's good to have you. I'm glad we could get together. And finally, just to have some context, we've been trying to do this for about 2 years now, because end of 2019 we were talking a good deal.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. And you've been trying to manage your business, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, during that whole time, and now you're finally back to traveling.
Yes. Oh my God. I just came off of this East Coast leg of a tour for like 2 weeks, and I did not want to come back home.
Nor should you have wanted to. That sounds like a dream trip for me, and I'm going to be heading to the East Coast here pretty soon myself, but I would love to spend a couple weeks somewhere, whether for work or for pleasure, just to enjoy the sights and take everything in. So, but well, as I said, Martha has her own business, and it's called MDMC Entertainment. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your company and when you started it?
Oh man, so MDMC Entertainment was well, it wasn't MDMC Entertainment back then.
Okay.
So I had originally went to San Diego Comic-Con in 2014, and I really wanted to work in the industry in Hollywood. I saw, all these bloggers getting in with entertainment and stuff. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So I started writing a blog under a pseudonym, which I will never say the name of the pseudonym because I will be completely badgered to death. But I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
If anyone, I worked at the Galaxy 8 movie theater in Roswell, New Mexico when I was like 20.
Okay.
And so my nickname there was the nickname for the pseudonym.
Gotcha. You might have to tell me off camera.
I will tell you off camera.
That way no one else has to know.
So anyway... So I started writing this blog and stuff, and then I ended up talking to an actor, and he's like, no, I need social media help, and like, I was like, I'm a marketer, this is what I do. Okay. And he's like, all right, let's get started. So I was doing freelance marketing without a company name, and it just kind of took off with this actor. And then I said, you know what, it's time to go legit. 2016, MDMC Entertainment was born. It was more like a side hustle because I hated my day-to-day. I worked for a really boring family-owned business in San Diego, and I was like, I need more to like feed my soul and to feed my inner being and my purpose. Yes. So I was like, this is what I want to do, and so that's what I did. I ended up doing this like part-time. Okay. And then situations occurred at the end of 2018 that left me unemployed for 233 days.
Okay.
And I was sitting there fighting, do I go back to the workforce? Do I start my own business? Tracy Lynn Cruz's husband, Javier, actually said...
Oh, yes, Tracy Lynn Cruz from Power Rangers Turbo and In Space.
So he said, he's like, well, you're free now. Start your business. And I was like, I need a paycheck. I don't have time to grow a business and make all this stuff happen. Like, you're insane. But he was right. I interviewed, I did all kinds of things, and I ended up working for a business coach that was just bonkers. And that was a weird time. And then she just up and let me go. I think it was like October 8th. And I was like, you know what? I am done working for people that just do not value me, who don't respect me. I mean, this person said, I don't think you're a very good marketer. I'm like, then why the hell am I here? Like I'm a fantastic marketer. You just don't want to apply what I've told you to do because you're a kook, but whatever. Anyway,
you're going to meet people like that, especially in entertainment.
You will find naysayers everywhere. I have been proving people wrong since day one. So I said, you know what, the hell with it. I started advertising that I was on my own. This is my business. It's full time. A person I went to college with is she's a serialpreneur out of Dallas. And she says, I'm starting a bunch of business. I need marketing help. Please help me. Yeah. And she gave me like a good lump sum of money and said, get started. And I was like, oh my God, I can do this. And so once that hit, other things hit, and then before you know it, I got my largest client out of San Diego.
Right.
And then it just started to build and build and build. So I've been on this up roller coaster for 2 years now.
That's right, because that was around the time we first met in like 2018.
Yeah.
And so at that time you were only doing like what, about part-time?
Yeah.
So, because the first time we quote unquote met, even though we didn't actually officially meet, we didn't exchange words or anything like that, is at Power Morphicon 2018 over at the Anaheim Convention Center.
Yeah.
And I was there with my family, and we were just taking in everything, and we got to meet a certain guy by the name of Roger Velasco, who actually has been on this channel. Interviewed him about 2 years ago.
I coordinated that.
Yes, she did. So yes, she's been involved with Dad Smoking Cigars in a number of ways over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So we also interviewed someone else that you know, a certain guy by the name of Brendan. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Brendan Bronzier of 1DR Productions. Oh my God, I love Brendan.
Oh, he's great.
So it's funny because when I was in New York, one of my friends did the Ghostbusters premiere at the New York premiere of the movie.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, I saw him in his jumpsuit and everything. I was like, oh, that's so cool. The next day, I see Brendan is doing the same thing, but in LA, and I'm just like, I don't understand. Brendan's like a mega star in his own right.
I know, and he was there too at Power Morphicon. Of course, I wouldn't have known who he was, so it was like neither here nor there. But met Roger, Power Morphicon, and been connected with him ever since. He came on the channel a year later, and that's how we got connected, started talking, and it was like end of 2019. Especially with Roger and with Brendan, because our, worlds were starting to connect.
Yeah.
I remember we were on a live stream once, and it was back when, it wasn't just me, it was my friend Tim who was on the channel. We were talking to Martha, and we were all saying, okay, beginning of next year, let's have you on the show. And then, obviously, as everyone knows, the whole world went to shit. We couldn't hang out. We couldn't see each other. Everything was done over Zoom.
So good to see you.
It is so good to see you, too. It's finally nice to connect in person, because we've been talking forever over various things and social media and things like that. So it's nice to have an actual personal meeting. Now, I've been curious, because I don't think I've ever asked or I've ever heard you say, what does MDMC stand for?
Martha D, Marketing Consultants.
Okay, I had a feeling the first two letters were your name, and then the rest was something else. Yeah. So that's fantastic.
We just wanted something that was catchy, that was something that kind of sticks to your head for a little bit. And when I did this project in grad school, and I was supposed to come up with my own company and all this stuff, and so I came up with Shine Inc. Well, Shine Inc. was taken. Like, that URL is gone. Like, I can't get that because it's so basic but so cool. Right. And I had the whole logo. Like, the logo was yellow and gold and orange. Like, it was really cool. And I was like, I'll just make Shine Inc. happen. And then Shine Inc. did not happen. I was like, right. So I was like, we need to come up with something cool, something unique. Like, I have a name for a backup company in the event, like MDMC, something happens or whatever.
Yeah. Or somebody says, hey, I had that name 10 years ago. You can't have that or something. Yeah.
In the event something happens.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I do have another color scheme and another idea for another company if that ever happens. But I wanted to do something that was catchy, that it spoke to the fact that we do work in entertainment, that we do work in marketing, and I wanted to encompass all that. So that's why it says marketing, public relations underneath the logo. So they're like, all right, this is an agency. So so like MDMC it just rolled. I was like,
I like it.
Sounds dope.
I like it. We're hanging out at the beautiful, luxurious Zarka Cigar Lounge in Temecula. It's kind of a nice halfway point between us, because you live in San Diego, I live in Corona, so it took us.
It was good. Like an hour.
Yeah, not too bad at all. I had to do a little redirect. I got held up a little bit, but we're here and we're hanging out. They've been very accommodating, and we're actually smoking a couple of the house blends they have here. Yeah. Mine's called the Des. And it's named after one of the ladies that works here, named Desiree, and you are smoking?
First Jen.
Yes, and Jen was the lady who welcomed us here, so it's named after her.
That's so cool.
It was recommended by my dad. You all know my dad. You've seen him here on the channel, and he's been here many, many times. I can only imagine the number of cigar lounges he's been to and down.
Right?
So, but that's awesome, because I've been watching you grow your company for the last... I know that sounds a little creepy. I've been watching you. So, no, I've been watching you grow your company over the last 2-3 years.
It terrifies me what people think.
No, it's incredible to me, honestly, just because, like, as someone who, one, wants to go into the entertainment industry doing voice work and stuff like that, it's one of those things where I have watched Martha and what she does, and I've hit her up a few times just saying, hey, what would you suggest about this? What would you think about this? And recommendations on how to grow my brand and how to make myself more appealing to, you know, a bigger market and people who either need a voice actor talent or, you know, want to watch the work of a voice actor. So
you're well on your way, by the way.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh, he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it.
That means a lot coming from you, just because you work with a lot of talent.
Oh, yeah.
And so I know that it's a little tough to break into the business, but I am confident, I am excited and stuff like that. I actually auditioned for a Power Rangers thing not too long ago.
Oh, awesome.
Power Rangers Unworthy, the web series that was born out of the contest for Power Morphicon. And I was one of 500 auditioners, and there's a lot of talent out there. So it's rough, but you know, I'm excited, and you know, as you know, it takes time, and it's easy to lose patience and be discouraged.
I mean, you just gotta keep going. I mean, I don't know how many people have told me I was. I'll tell you a funny story.
Okay. We like funny stories.
It's not funny. It's actually really, really shitty, but it really motivated me.
Right.
So
right.
I remember when I first went to LA Comic Con. This was 2016.
Okay.
15. Because I was working at a company, and the owner was so aloof. Like, he knew nothing. Like, he just knew his company was making money. He knew nothing.
Right. That's all he needed to know.
And so I was talking to a friend of mine. She's like, how was your weekend? And I was like, I just went to LA Comic Con. All I know is I want to do this every weekend. I want to go to a show. I want to know these people. Like, I was literally speaking it to existence. And
manifesting.
I was manifesting. I believe 100% manifestation.
Yes.
We can talk about that later. But what ended up happening was one of the owner's little peons heard me and my friend's story, like our conversation, and she was like, oh, in 5 years, I want to be, you know, in Colorado. I want to own my own business, which she does now.
That's
and
awesome.
It is exactly 5 years now. And I said, I'm going to do this. Every weekend, I'm going to go to a Comic-Con. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And we literally spoke our things into existence. Well, anyway, the next day, the owner calls me in and says, hey, can you come to my office? And I was like, it's probably a marketing thing. Like, you know, whatever. He comes in and, like, I go into his office and I'm like, you know, what's going on? And he's like, how dare you talk shit about my company? I said, excuse me? What did I do? I'm making your company money. Like, I'm devoted to this job. And he says, well, I heard this conversation you had between you and your friend, who is like a sister to me now.
Yeah.
And she's, you know, and I said, yeah, what about it? He's like, oh, you're talking shit about the weekend and where you guys want to be. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, we have dreams outside of this company.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, you want to work at Comic-Con, you want to do this, you need to grow the fuck up. You need to stop. And I said, what do you mean? Like, I am going to be a marketer for, you know, digital marketing. I want to work in Hollywood. I want to do this. And he's like, you're never going to make it. You are the worst marketer I've ever seen. I said, excuse me. How many millions of dollars did you make last year? Or last month, actually.
Wow.
You had a record-breaking month last month. You mean to tell me I ain't going to make it? Fuck you, man. And that was...
I love it.
That crushed my soul, though. Like, I walked out of there bawling my eyes out, and it took me like a full week to recover from that, because it hit me so in the core.
Yeah, I would me too, just when people talk to you like that.
And I said, you know, I gotta leave. And so I picked up another job with a competitor, and I said, I'm out. I made sure I got my Christmas bonus first. I calculated that. I was
gotta look out for you.
I was like, when did they get the bonuses? Tuesday morning. Okay, so I'll leave it on his desk Wednesday. It's a week notice. Too bad. And I left.
Tough shit, man.
I mean, I have had naysayers all my life tell me, you know, you're this, you're that.
Right.
You know, and fuck that, man. No.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I don't got time for that shit.
No, absolutely not. So, but that's awesome. I mean, it's rough when you have somebody say something like that to you, to try and turn it around, let it motivate you. Because, admittedly, when somebody hits me with something like that, I'm just like, crap.
Don't listen to it.
No, don't listen to it. You can't listen to it because it's just, it's not going to help you. It's certainly not going to get you where you want to go. and it's just going to, it'll be a hindrance for you.
Your journey is your own. Okay, you didn't invite people on it. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know?
No. People come along that can either help you or hinder you. It's just knowing how to suss all the bad ones out. So. Martha and I keep remarking about the fact that they keep playing music in here that is remnant of when we were in high school or just after, and it's kind of cracking me the hell up because now I'm going back to high school. So, but no,
those were some good years though.
they were some pretty good years.
For me, they were. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just nice with the vibe in here and everything like that. They're playing great music and they got really good cigars. So if you guys haven't checked out Zarka. We really recommend that you do because I mean we've only been here for 20 minutes and we're like,
I love it.
We're coming back.
Boxes that are up on the
they got cigar boxes all up on the ceiling right above our heads, and some of them look dangerously like they're gonna fall off, but I think they're okay.
It's pretty cool. That'd make one hell of a video though.
Yes, it would. So, but on that note, let's talk a little bit about when you first got into cigars. Now, you don't smoke a lot. Every now and then. Ceremonial, celebratory cigars and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my dad, he's since passed. He passed in 2008.
Right.
And when we would go to the parties and stuff, like he used to smoke cigarettes at one point. He used to do chewing tobacco. But at the parties, every now and then a cigar would come out. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, let me smell it. Let me smell it.
That's,
And I was, like, I think I was like 12, 13. Like, he didn't let me smoke it. Like,
right, of course not.
The drinking stuff, when you, I tell you, I don't know what, kids nowadays will never know. But, like, I used to have a little glass of beer or whatever, like, that was totally fine. But the smoking part, my dad was like, hell no, you're not smoking right now. And so, but I loved the smell of them. And I remember when we actually buried him, I gave him a cigar. I left him a cigar in his shirt. Aww. So I was like, so you have one with your dad,
Yes, exactly.
And so I started to smoke, I think, about 2009?
Yeah.
Something like that. My husband was really into it. And I was like, oh, I love cigars. Let's smoke one. And so we just started to buy random cigars and we'd sit outside at the fire pit by our pool and we'd just sit there and talk about the future and plan and scheme and those nights, when there's really nothing going on and it's a mellow night, we're like, you know what, let's go get a cigar and go sit outside. And so it's like a couple times a year I'll sit out there and plan my world domination,
hell yeah,
and plan for the future. I love those are the best nights because some of the best ideas come from those nights of just
best conversations, best ideas,
best drinks, best everything. And I love nights like that, and so they're good. And then I come back and I write out all my ideas and then I put them in action. So every now and then I remember. So we went home for Christmas and Jared's mom, she knows we don't really smoke cigarettes.
Jared is her husband, by the way.
Jared's my husband. And we went to the store and we found, they're like really nice cigars. I was like, oh, we should get one for tonight because it's Christmas Eve.
Right.
So we're out there like in the freaking cold of New Mexico. And we're out there like smoking and stuff, like with his cousins. They're smoking cigarettes. We're out here just enjoying the cigars and the beer.
Yep.
And his mom comes out. She's like, all right, put them all out. We got gifts to do. And I was like, man, I never thought I'd be that person. But, it was Christmas,
Right.
My mom's like, how often do you do this stuff? And I'm like, oh, Mom, not enough.
Right.
Not enough.
Well, I mean, it was 2018 that when we launched Dad Smoking Cigars, had the idea for it. And it was born out of smoking more frequently because 2018, and as you well know, was a crazy year for me. Loss and wonderful things as well, and it was just insane. And prior to that I was smoking a little bit more, but after that I started smoking a lot more, and it was just a way for me to kind of pause, reflect, and just kind of just be all to myself and not have to worry about anything. And it was just the more I enjoyed it, the more I got into it, the more I wanted to kind of share that enjoyment. And so that's when I got the idea to launch Dad Smoking Cigars on social media, then eventually YouTube.
And you've done so good since then.
Thank you so much. It's been crazy because it started with just smoking on my patio and with a buddy, and now he's doing his own cigar channel and stuff like that, so which is great. And but yeah, being sponsored by Casa Cuevas, which, as I said, I have cigars from them for you. So you're gonna have to flash them and tag them so that way they can see that I've been spreading the wealth, because I love sharing Casa Cuevas with my friends and family. So
I feel a think tank coming on here next to the pool tonight or this week,
Well, I'll have to give you Lewis's number or something like that. Luis Cuevas, who is the president of Casa Cuevas, so because I'm sure he would love to hear from you.
Really? Yeah, I can just call him?
Well, I'm sure. Well, I would shoot him a message over social media.
Okay.
And just say, hey, I know Kyle. He gave me your cigars. Would love to connect and stuff like that. He is one of the most generous, nicest men you'll ever meet, ever. And he's a very kind gentleman. So, but anyway, so yeah, no, it's just kind of crazy how what these fun things, whether they be businesses or hobbies or side hustles or things like that, what they're born from.
Yeah.
And mine was just born from smoking more frequently, which drove my wife insane. Still does, but she's pretty supportive, and she's like, she gave me she gave me the green light to build a studio in my garage, and that's where I shoot most of my YouTube videos. Which is awesome. And so, but no, it's fantastic when you find yourself in a position to take this idea, however outlandish or crazy it might be, and turn it into something that is for either career or just something that benefits you in a crazy way. So what are your future plans for, you talk about world domination, so tell us how you're gonna rule the world.
Oh man, I was running around New York, and even before MDMC was my full-time gig, I remember going to New York in 2017. I have a very good friend of mine out there. We were walking down the village, and he said, MDMC would look good here. MDMC would look great here. Like, he was just... I have mad love for that man, because he has always just been so supportive of me, and how crazy... You have to have really good friends in your corner, basically.
Absolutely.
And he just... I don't know what it is. He has this unwavering belief in me that I love, and I love him for it. But, we are looking into opening our first office in 2021 or 22. Wow, 22. We're in 21.
Yes, we are.
January 2022, we should have a office down in San Diego.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's part of the dream when you have a business, because you can run it out of your home and it's convenient, but it's kind of nice to have a space you can go to just to conduct your business and have meetings and things like that.
Well, I have interns, and it's so funny because I started my intern program last spring, and it was with a guy that Jared actually worked with. He made me an internship, and I was like, hey, you want to learn marketing? Let me teach you. And so I did that, and then I was like, you know what? I need to bring in more interns. So the summer interns came in. There were two fantastic girls out of University of San Diego. And I was like, man, as soon as the semester ended, I was like, damn, I have to do this again. I hate it when you find really good help, and then the semester ends, and I'm like, oh no.
They're not available anymore.
They're not available anymore. So I was, as my travel schedule started to ramp up, it ramped up in August. Right. And now we're at the tail end of November, and we're still going. So we still have one more trip.
I can't believe this year's almost over.
I know.
It's insane.
We have one more trip in December, and then I think we're done for the year.
Yeah.
But I had come back. I was in Seattle visiting one of my business partners, and I was conducting intern interviews out there. Okay. And so I picked two girls that I thought were really good, and they have just flourished. They have done so well. They have taken to my teachings wonderfully. Awesome. And they're killing it. And so we did LAX Fan Fest. Okay. We were a vendor, and we actually got D'Lo Brown. We flew him in to sit at our table. Okay. And we did our first talent, because usually we book talent on the low, to stuff, which that will not be in the low anymore here soon. That's another thing. Mm-hmm. But I actually called D'Lo. I was like, hey, I'd really love for you to be at my booth at this wrestling event. Tell me your price. We'll fly you in. And we did that, baller. I was like, damn, nice. How the hell are we doing this? And D'Lo was so wonderful. He was like, whoever else you want to work with, I will give you a glowing recommendation. Let me know who you want. I'm like, very nice. Oh my God. it's really cool, like that entertainment side of it. So to have a vendor, but my interns came and I said, all right, guys, this is who we have at our table. I want you to research, know who you are, call him Mr. Brown.
Right.
Like be very respectful and everything.
Yeah.
And D'Lo's like, oh, stop that. Like, just call me D'Lo. And these girls, they took off. One match. We launched MDMC Authentics this year, which is our store of authenticated autographs and Funko Pops and action figures. Because we do so much traveling, we picked up a lot of things along the way. And like, my living room is like the pop room. Like, I'm done. That's why I said we're opening the office in 2022, because all this shit is going out somewhere else.
Right.
And so I'm excited to do that. Have MDMC Authentics has their own little space. MDMC Entertainment's gonna have their own space. The interns, we did another. We did like a comic book signing with. We're working with Studio 43 out of Indianapolis.
Okay.
Brandon Benfield. He has been booking some of my people everywhere. And I'm like, that's cool. And he's like, you could be a part of it. Like, he doesn't even, like, he does give me credit. He didn't just take my talent and run, which I appreciate. He's like, no, MDMC's part of this. I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't even do anything. I'm like, that's great. Thank you. I love that. And we have a really great working relationship. And I love that. So I told the girls, I was like, hey, Roger's going to be in town in San Diego doing this comic book signing. Right. Check this out. And it was at that signing, they were like, is it possible for us to stay next year? And I said, as interns? And they're like, yeah, we don't want to, like, leave. And I said, really?
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. And so, so they're staying on until May, which I'm so thankful for. I don't have to, like, retrain.
No.
These girls already know everything.
Absolutely.
Like, hopefully by the time they graduate, I would like to hire one of them. We'll see. We'll see where we are. And then I picked up I didn't pick them up. There was a guy that was on our one of the Power Rangers street teams based out of Dallas, and he says, I really want to learn marketing. I was in the military. I want to do a lateral move from what I learned into marketing. Mm-hmm. And so he, like, I literally, like, I jokingly say this is MDMC University, but I'm thinking it's going to be a thing now.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, all right.
If McDonald's can have a university, so can MDMC.
I mean, MDMC can too. We have that coming around. And,
right.
And so we got the office coming around. Authentics is kicked off.
Love it.
Right now we are. There's another. There's another thing in the works.
Okay.
I do have the YouTube show Business Building and Beyond.
Yes.
Which we do.
Which I'm going to leave some links. I'm going to leave links down to everything in the description. So anything related to MDMC Authentics, and the Business Building channel, all going to be down below. So please check that out.
So I talk to successful people about what they do, and then I also give tips on those videos of what people can do. And so I actually thought, this is why I say MDMC University could be a thing, but I'm actually going to start teaching people how to do that here
That's
soon.
awesome.
So the courses are going to open up, and that's called Business Building on Your Own. And so you build on your own, and so I'm going to actually teach you my methods and how you can do all these things. And
awesome.
It's per class. You can buy it per class. You can buy the whole bundle, and if you like it, great. Good luck with your business. Or if you're just too overwhelmed and said, I don't want to do all this, then you can hire me. It's either or. So we have a lot going on in the works, and hopefully by 2023, 2024, I would love to open a East Coast office out there in New York, because I really do want to break into that market. So that's my world domination. We're starting out pretty big. Yeah. That
is fantastic. I'm really excited to hear that, just because I love hearing about people's successes, especially when they're starting their own business. I mean, I love hearing about anyone's success in anything, whether they chose a career path in, a bigger company or something like that. But I love hearing about my friends' successes when they started their own thing.
Yeah.
It may have been just a hobby or a side hustle to start with, and then it turned into something bigger.
Yeah.
And that gets me excited, because I'm doing something similar. Yeah. I'm wanting to, I would essentially be working for myself, but, just being able to submit my voice to different things and be, whether it's a commercial or animated or video game or whatever.
Yeah.
It's an exciting thing. And when I see you doing what you do and other friends of mine doing similar things, I'm like, okay, I can do this, and I can do it well, and I can be successful with it.
You know, the thing is that this didn't happen overnight.
No, of course not.
It started in 2014. It took
Right.
me. I started in full time 2018. So that was, what is that? 6 years, 4, something like that. 6 years, something
About
like that.
7 years almost.
7 years.
Yeah.
So you had to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until you get to where you need to go. And I'm like, I don't, you know, I make a decent amount of money for what I do. And,
Right.
and it's still growing, and I have goals as to how to increase that revenue. And it takes time, and you just can't beat yourself up for it for not hitting it. You know, I sit back. I have seen people. I'll actually tell you a very funny story.
Another funny story.
There's someone who I kind of like, I wanted to work with, but I think they saw me as competition.
Oh,
and
that's a bummer.
So we never successfully worked together anywhere.
Right.
And I actually bumped into this person. And, you know, they were, you know, I was telling someone, oh, yeah, I'm doing, you know, they just by happenstance. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm here doing this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And this person heard, like, barely acknowledged me. They're like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm like, oh, hey. And I was talking to another person. And I'm, you know, they're overhearing. Oh yeah, I'm not, and I'm not gloating. I'm not putting it on thick.
Well, you're just talking about what's going on.
Like, oh, I'm just here for this, this, and this, and you know, my team did this, and next thing you know, this person comes around the corner, is like, oh, I'm doing this, like hyping himself like to the nth degree, and I'm like, whoa.
That's great. Good for you, buddy.
No, it was a deflection.
I know.
Really, like okay, like you hear that I'm actually taking off, and you know, you considered like. I think he considered me competition, which he never really wanted to make that working relationship happen. And so, but then he wants to come over here and tell me, I'm doing this. I'm like, it's good, guy. Good job, man. Appreciate it. You know, that's awesome. And so you just kind of, I saw it was a deflection, but I was like, good for you, man.
Right.
So that's all you can do. I'm not sitting here pushing ill will on anybody.
Of course not.
But it did give me a little bit of a little kick in my step. Like, I'm actually doing something that someone who I think of as probably a really good person, and well, not a good person, but they're successful in their field. Like to kind of see them trip up over me. I'm like, whoa, what? Who is this girl? I don't even know. I don't even know anymore.
That is cool though, just because like, and obviously you don't want to wish ill or anything like that on anyone, but it's like, it's funny to me when you have someone who, you know, maybe at one time you were connected and you were okay with each other, and then talked about collaborating, working together, and then they
deflected.
They deflected, or they somehow saw you as like you said, competition, or like, well, I don't want to work with you because then we'd have to share in our success. I'd rather have my own success, and good luck, enjoy yourself. And then you become successful, but they haven't moved too much from where they were standing originally, or not as far as they thought. And I guess there's a lot of people coming through the door right now.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. But it's funny, and it's also a little sad because you're just like, didn't have to be this way, man. Didn't have to be. No. Well, it's been great finally being able to have you on the channel, and finally getting to meet up, hang out, and relax and talk about our, you know, respective ventures and stuff like that. I'm very excited for you, very proud of what you've accomplished.
Thank you.
So can't wait to see what else you do in your journey in world domination. So I know I'm going to see all of it unfold, and I hope to kind of be a part of it in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
So,
I cannot wait to... we're not there yet. We're
it's a journey.
It's like a roller coaster up. It takes a minute to get up there, and then then once you hit it, boom, it's a wild ride.
Oh yeah, and I'm looking forward to hitting my stride as well in that regard, and seeing where it takes me. And so we're on a very similar journey.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. Yeah. So, well, thank you again for joining me for this episode of Currently Smoking With, and
thank you for this cigar.
You're very welcome.
Good, so smooth.
Oh yeah, these are excellent. Nice house blends. Please come to Zarka and check it out if you're close to Temecula or you're able to make the drive. Come on out here and check it out, and definitely check out their house blends. They got an excellent humidor, huge selection, and it's a very comfy place to hang out.
Gosh.
So, and we're gonna enjoy the comfy atmosphere after we wrap this up. So, thank you guys for joining us and watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, thanks again for tuning into this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also follow Dad Smoking Cigars on dads_smoking_cigars on Instagram, and be sure to check us out on Facebook. Until then, guys, stay smoky, and I'll see you in the next one.